My name's Josh, I'm e-commerce manager at Bidfood and I'm your host for today. The agenda for today is our MyRecipes and menu planning. Our free to use tool has been designed to be intuitive and easy to use, and its main focus is so that you can easily create and manage your recipes using all live product information from Bidfood. So the agenda, we're going to look at a complete recipe and go through all of the different bits of information that is shown within. We go through how to create a recipe and how simple that is. Look at the scaling functionality and how that can support you with reducing over-ordering and wastage. What download options are available for your recipes or recipe cards, and also our end-to-end label printing solution, been designed to support you with Natasha's Law. Also, how you can easily keep your recipes up to date once they've been created and how you can make bulk changes to those. Manual ingredients for any products that you're buying from outside of Bidfood. We'll look at how you can incorporate those within your recipes in Bidfood Direct. So the real-time costings report, so you've got visibility of exactly how much each recipe is costing you at that moment in time. And also going to touch on the head office controls that are available, which are there to support you with a centralized recipe bank. Throughout the session today, you are able to ask questions. So towards the top of your screen, you'll see a Q&A section. So feel free to pop any questions in there and we'll go through those at the end of today's session. We're going to jump straight into Bidfood Direct and kick off with today's demo. So everybody that's got a Bidfood Direct account has access to MyRecipes by default, so there's no special permissions that you need to get. And as we mentioned, it is one of our added value tools, so it is there and available for any of you to start using at any point. You'll see when you log in from the top menu bar, you've got the menu planning option, and from there you can head into the recipes section of Bidfood Direct. So I've got a couple of recipes created, and we're going to kick off by just looking at a complete recipe and all the information that's contained within. So firstly, you have got an icon for each of the 14 major allergens, and these are nice and simple to understand. They give you clear visibility. Any of them that are highlighted in colour, that represents that that allergen may be or is present within this recipe, and any of them that are greyed out, that allergen is not present. And you can hover over any of these icons to get a little pop-up, so we can see it contains cereals containing gluten, and it may contain peanuts, but it does not contain mustard and all the other ones that are greyed out as well. Over towards the right, you've got the traffic lights, which we're all familiar with, and some nutritional values. But as I navigate down to the bottom of the page, you get a full nutritional breakdown, so we'll go through that. The next section is the costings. So as this is within Bidfood Direct, which is a live system, all of this information is up to date and reflects your real-time costs. So you get a total ingredients cost for the recipe and for the Bidfood order. And then you also get a total recipe cost per portion. So you can see exactly how much that recipe is costing you to produce at this moment in time. You can also enter a sale price per portion, and in doing so, taking into account your live costing information, that will calculate your gross margin percentage. You can do it in the reverse order. If you know what gross margin you want to make, you can enter that and it'll work backwards and give you a suggested sell price as well. Whenever you have any price changes on any ingredients, that's updated automatically. So all of your costings will rework. So you've always got that live view of each recipe's costs. As we go down to the ingredients section, so you've got a breakdown of all of the ingredients that are contained within this recipe. So firstly, you've got the allergens repeated at line level, so you can see which products are driving the allergens within your recipe. And again, you can hover over these as well. You can see the quantity for each ingredient. So if we look at the top one, we've got 454 grams of sausage meat. Like I say, that is costing me £1.96. and the same for the rest of them, 500 grams of pastry, 79p, and so on. As we continue down, you've got a section for cooking instructions. So if you've already got these saved somewhere else, they can be copy and pasted in, or it's just a simple free text box for you to enter those into in a way that suits you and the people that are going to be using these recipes. You've got your allergens section again, so you've got your icons repeated and you've got your allergens listed out in Word format, and that again is broken down to contains, may contain, and does not contain. We've got allergen definitions. That's just so we're all on the same page and we understand each other when what we mean by contains, may, does not, and the same for gluten-free and milk-free. And then at the very bottom, you've got your nutritional breakdown. So you've got all your figures for your calories, your salt, sugar, and so on, and you get that per serving and also per 100 grams. So that is all of the information that you are provided with once you've created a recipe using Bidfood Direct. I'm just going to quickly put together part of a recipe to show you the actual steps that you take to end up with this finished recipe. It has been designed to be intuitive and simple to use. So it's a case of once you've done a few, it is really simple to carry on using. So we create a new recipe. We give the recipe a name. You can enter a description if you wish. That is completely optional. And then we create. Now, the first thing that we do is tell the system the number of portions that this recipe creates. And that will save it as a base figure. And the reason for that will become clear once I've put this recipe together. So I'm going to let the system know that this recipe serves 10 portions, and I'm going to save that before I add any ingredients. So we want to start adding products into our recipe. So we go add ingredients. And from there, it's just a nice simple search, similar to the shop when you're looking for individual products, but you can search by Bidfood product code. You can search by keyword. And again, if you have got a restricted range with Bidfood, you will only see the products within this search for products that you can purchase. So I'm going to start by searching for product code, and that's going to bring me the product that I need. Now, depending on what the product is, will depend on what the unit of measure is. Of course, liquids are going to be in mils. You'll have other things in grams and other things in pieces. You enter the required quantity for the ingredient. We tick the select box and then just click add to recipe, and that will go into my unsaved changes section for me to review once I've finished adding all ingredients. Just going to add a couple more ingredients. So you would continue to do this until you've got everything that you need for your recipe. As I say, you can search by keywords. I search by whole grain mustard, that's going to bring back all of the relevant products. You can filter your search results using the filters option, and that will allow you to exclude any products from your results that contain a selected allergen. So if you don't want to see products that contain almonds, for example, you can choose to exclude that. And you can choose to only be shown products that meet certain dietary requirements, if they're vegan, vegetarian, kosher, halal, and so on, depending on the products that are available to you. I'm just going to add this as the last product. They're all sitting in my unsaved changes section now. So once I've got everything I need, simply click save and finish, and that's going to take me back to my recipe page. And straight away you can see the allergens that are contained within. I've got my traffic lights and my nutritionals. I've got my costings. This is when I can enter my cooking instructions. If I'm happy, I can finish that, and that recipe is now created. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the recipe creation process, I enter the number of portions that this creates, and that is saved as the base figure. Now, we know from day to day and week to week, you may have differing serving requirements and different number of portions that you need to create. Bidfood Direct has a scaling functionality, which makes it nice and super simple and quick to recalculate these quantities so that you can see how much ingredients you need to order depending on how many portions you need. So at the minute, this is set up for 10 portions. If next week I need to do 24 portions, I can enter that into the portions box and hit scale, and that will rework all of my figures and calculate how much of each ingredient I need to use. So now I need 120 mils of oil, 120 of mustard, and 4,320 of bechamel sauce. So now I could load that into my basket and order all of those ingredients and know that I'm ordering just enough to create 24 portions. So it will always order you enough ingredients to create the portions. It won't ever excessively over order. Of course, if something comes in a case, then it's going to order you the case, but it's not going to end up ordering you 3 cases if that's not what's needed. So it is really simple and does help support cut down on over ordering and wastage by doing the manual calculations. Once you've got a created recipe, you've got a couple of download options in here. So from the download drop down, we can see we've got an option for costings and no costings. So these will download recipe sheets. Of course, one's going to have costings information on there and one isn't. So depending on who you're showing these downloads to, you can choose to hide the costings information. So I have got one that I downloaded earlier for my turkey and pork sausage roll, and this is what a download looks like. So you've got all of your allergen information, you've got your nutritionals, you've got a picture if you choose to upload one. Then you've got a full breakdown of the ingredients contained within, your cooking instructions, and everything else that is available within Bidfood Direct. Now, if you wanted to use these for front of house and show them to your customers, you can choose to exclude selected information from that download by creating a custom download. And that gives you the option to remove certain bits of information. So if you just wanted to present the allergens and the nutritional values, but you don't need a full breakdown of each individual component, you can choose to remove that from your download. So you have got some flexibility there in choosing how much or how little information is contained within those downloads. You can also just do a simple print, and that will print off everything that's contained within your online recipe. Bidfood Direct, as I mentioned in the agenda, has an end-to-end labelling solution contained within. So for those of you that need to comply with Natasha's law, for example, this is a great way to speed up that process. It removes the need to manually handwrite labels, and of course in doing so helps mitigate the risk of any mistakes being made on your labels. So from the download option, you will see there is a label option. If we click on that, it's going to take us through a series of pop-up screens. And this is just so that you can review all of the information for your recipe. So you can see exactly all of the allergens that are within the recipe, the nutritionals. And as we continue through, you get to the final screen. So this is giving you a preview of what would be produced on your label. And you've got 2 options at this stage. So you can use this information to just print a label using any standard printer. So you can download all of this information into a word editing program and design your label from there and then print it, as I say, using any printer. Or alternatively, at Bidfood, we have integrated with a third-party company called Daymark, and they provide software and kit to print labels for this exact purpose. So you'll see on the left hand side we've got the send to Daymark option. If you press that, you'll be asked to enter your Daymark login details, and then your label will be sent over to them. Now that ends up in the Daymark menu command software, and this is one that I sent over earlier. So in doing so, that has sent across all of the ingredients string. So again, for those of you that have to comply with Natasha's law, Bidfood Direct puts the ingredients in the correct order so that it does comply. So the ingredients with the highest quantity first, down to the lowest last. And also the allergens that have to be emphasized, they are all capitalized for you. If you do want to make them bold, then you have got the option to do so within Daymark. We've also sent across all of the nutritional information. And you can design your labels to look how you want them to. So you can add your company logo on there. You can choose if you just want the allergens or the nutritionals, or you can have the full thing. You can choose to preview the label and see what it's going to look like. So I've opted to have full nutritional and calorie information on my label, and this is what it's going to look like. And using the Daymark tablet and printer, you would then tap on that individual recipe item, choose how many labels you want to print, and those labels would be printed off in line with how you've designed them. Bidfood do stock the whole Daymark range, and that can be delivered just along with your normal food and non-food supplies. So for those of you that already have tablets, then you can download the Daymark software free of charge from the App Store. That's available on iOS and Android. So then you would just need the printer and the labels. But for those of you that don't have any tablets, again, Daymark do supply and Bidfood stock the tablets as well. For any more information in terms of pricing or anything on the Daymark kit, please do just speak to your Bidfood account manager and they'll be able to provide you with that information. Once we've got our recipes created, of course, from time to time, things within that recipe will change. So you may have ingredients that get delisted, or you may decide that you're going to swap from one particular product to another. And Bidfood Direct MyRecipes helps make that as simple as possible. So within the ingredients summary section, this will show you all products that you're using within all of your recipes, and it allows you to replace those across all recipes with just a few clicks. So at the moment, I'm looking at all ingredients that are contained. I can choose to filter and only see unavailable ingredients. So again, if anything does become unavailable for whatever reason, that will display within red in this list. So you know that you need to take action and update that recipe with a new ingredient. So if I hit find replacement, that's going to show me all of the recipes that contain the unavailable product. So my Tate and Lyle Demerara sugar. You can choose which recipes you want to update, or you can do them all. And then again, it's just a nice simple search to find a replacement ingredient. If I go for brown sugar, it's going to show me all brown sugars that are available to me. I find the one that I want and hit replace. It will give you a pop-up letting you know what impact that will have on your allergens. And then you will see a confirmation screen that that replacement has happened. So you can see that the original ingredient has been replaced by the new one within these recipes. And in all of those recipes now, the ingredients, allergens, and costings information will have been updated to reflect the new ingredient that you've put in there. So that's a nice, simple way to keep your recipes up to date when you have got product changes. Now, we know there might be some ingredients that you purchase from outside of Bidfood. So if you've got a local supplier for your fish, your meat, whatever it may be, you can create those within MyRecipes so that you've still got a rounded overview of the costs, nutritionals, and allergens, even though there are products there that are not coming from Bidfood. Now, we call those manual ingredients. And in here, I've got a list of ingredients that I've created that I'm buying from anywhere but Bidfood. If I look at my cream that I've created, so because we're not supplying this product, of course, we don't have the information. So you need to enter that information. And once you've done that, you can use the ingredient in as many recipes as you need to. So it's a case of putting in the header details of what the product is. You can put in a supply name if you wish. You've got your pack size that you're buying it in and your costings. Again, that is solely so that we can show you accurate costings for your recipes, even though those products aren't coming from Bidfood. You've got a section for your ingredients list, so of course, most important for if you are generating labels. You've got the 14 major allergens and suballergens, so it's a case of selecting the appropriate checkbox next to each allergen based on the information provided to you from the supplier of that product. So I've completed all of these, and then you've got your nutritional section. And again, it's just about completing those so you've got the full profile for that ingredient. If any changes are made to that product from the manufacturer, then you can just edit the manual ingredient, and that in turn will update all of the recipes that contain that manual ingredient as well. So if I just jump back to one of my recipes and add a manual ingredient, the process is very much the same as adding Bidfood ingredients. If I go into my vanilla sponge and I want to edit that, we want to add ingredients again. You get a little pop-up letting you know that whatever changes you're about to make may impact your allergen and dietary profile, so it's just making you aware. And then instead of searching the Bidfood catalogue this time, we want to search for manual ingredients, and that will bring up all of your manuals. So I've already added this, but it's exactly the same. You enter the required quantity, tick the select box and add to recipe, and you know that it's been done because it will show you this little asterisk, and you can see that that's already been added to my recipe. So if we take a look at the ingredients within this recipe, you can see all of the Bidfood supplied products have the product code next to them and the category that they sit within, and any manual ingredients are displayed like this. So again, you've still got your line level report on the allergens, and you've still got your costings information. So it is really useful, I would say, if you are buying any products from outside of Bidfood, you can still have a complete recipe. You're not going to have missing elements just because they're coming from elsewhere. Also within MyRecipes is the costings report. So this allows you to view all of your recipe costings at an overview level instead of having to go into each individual one. So on this page, I've got all of my recipes. For ones that I've entered a sell price into, then I'll see that displayed here along with the gross margin. For any that don't have a sell price, you're just going to get a cost per portion. And again, if any of these should change, it will reflect in here automatically. Again, you can always see how much each recipe is costing you and your gross margin in real time. This can be exported out to Excel if you want to, so maybe you might want to do that on a monthly basis and just track any changes, but that option is there for you. For those of you that have multiple sites or work in businesses with multiple sites, there are some built-in controls within MyRecipes. So I am the creator of all of these recipes, so I've got the option to view, edit, copy, and delete them. If you have a centralized recipe bank and a standard recipes that are used across multiple sites, you can have one recipe creator within your business who creates and controls all of these recipes, and they can be shared as view only across each site. So everybody within your business that has a Bidfood Direct login will be able to come and view these recipes as view only. So they'll be able to see all the same information that we've gone through today, but they just won't be able to edit any of the components within the recipes, so that everybody's then working to the same recipe spec, using the same products, the same quantities, then hopefully you should end up with the same finished product coming in at the same cost. So again, if that is something that is going to be beneficial to you, please do pick up with your Bidfood contact and we can look at how best to set that up to suit your business. I'm just going to bring the slides back up and see if we have had any questions coming throughout the session. If you haven't yet put your question in, but as I've gone through that, you've thought of a question, feel free to put it in now whilst we look at those, and we will have a look at them again at the end. So don't worry if you've not managed to get them in yet. Okay, we've got no questions at the moment. That's fine. So of course, everything that I've gone through, it's quite a lot of information to take in. We have got an in-depth MyRecipes user guide that's available for you to view. And if you've got your phone handy, you can just scan that QR code and that will take you to our online interactive guide, which will cover everything that I've gone through today. And it's always a useful reference guide to come back to as you get started. If you get stuck at any point, everything is contained within that user guide. Now, for those of you that joined our previous 2 sessions, you'll have seen this before, but I'm just going to go through how to get started with Bidfood Direct if you haven't already got a Bidfood Direct account. So it's nice and simple. All you need to do is head over to the website shown on screen, which is bidfood.co.uk/bidfood-direct. And from here, you've got a couple of options. So if you're already a Bidfood customer but don't yet have a Bidfood Direct account, you can just click register for Bidfood Direct. Or alternatively, if you're not yet a Bidfood customer but would like to open a trading account with us, you can click become a customer and there'll be a couple of options there for you depending on your current situation. Either way, we'll get you set up nice and quickly and get you access to Bidfood Direct. So again, the website is still shown on screen for anybody that needs it. Now I'm just going to move on to our questions section, just refresh, see if we've had any questions come in during the session today. Again, if there is anything you need, this is your last opportunity to get them in. But of course, if you think of anything afterwards, do just reach out to your Bidfood contact who will be able to help you. We've got no questions, so thank you very much. And finally, just thank you again for joining today's session. I hope you've enjoyed learning more about MyRecipes and Bidfood Direct in general over the course of this series. And again, if you do have any further questions that you think of, please do reach out. We're here to help, but hopefully you'll be able to see how MyRecipes can benefit you and your business when it comes to controlling your recipes, your allergens, and all your costings information. Thank you very much. Goodbye.